Want to add depth and glow to your painting? Glazing lets you build color gradually with soft, transparent layers. Let's watch how each layer brings your painting to life. These are few of the artworks which I have painted using glazing technique, where thin transparent layers of paint applied over dry base layer which you see here. The clownfish is painted using the glazing technique, and the highlighting technique here adds light and makes it glow. Base layer can be created in grayscale or a muted version of the chosen color. First thin your paint with water or a glazing medium, and then apply it over the dry surface to build depth and richness. Add layers gradually, making sure each one dries fully before the next one, but avoid overlayering. And knowing when to stop is very important. The final depth and richness largely depends on the values established in the underlying base layer. Using Himi acrylic jelly cup, 450 GSM paper, liner brush, filbert and round brush size 4. We are going to paint kingfisher here. So just draw a rough outline of the bird. I am using the Himi acrylic jelly cup set from Thoovi, and I absolutely love it. Just pop the lid open and start painting, no preparation needed. I've been using it for over 8 months now, and it's honestly one of the best I have tried. You can find the purchase link from the description below. Colors I'm going to use are ultramarine blue, some red, orange, pinch of yellow, burnt umber, ochre, green, earth yellow, of course black and white. For painting base layer of feather, I am using ultramarine blue, pinch of burnt umber and orange. A pinch of same color here, the orange is used in different areas of the artwork to create harmony and visual connection. Tap excess paint in a dry towel. Step is really important because it helps establish all the values, the lights, midtones and the dark. Let it dry completely before glazing. So acrylics dry quickly, but for glazing it's important that the surface is fully dry so the layers don't get muddy. The see I'm looking for is very light, almost like a tinted wash. This allows the underlying grayscale to show through while gradually building colors. Let the first layer dry completely before second one. Meanwhile, we shall paint the underbody. Of glazing is already dry. We can do the second layer now. Using orange, pinch of burnt umber and ultramarine blue. Is it over the base layer? Layer of feather is dry now. I am going to do next glaze. This time I deepen the blue slightly in the shadow areas to create more dimension. And now we can add shadows. Highlights is what really brings the painting to life. I start by placing highlights where light naturally hits, using small strokes to build texture. Now you could mix white with your base color, but that often looks flat. For example, red plus white turns pink and it doesn't really pop. Instead, I use this technique. First, I add pure white as a highlight and let it dry completely. Then I glaze over it using thin transparent layers. Using 3 to 5 layers actually works best. Once the highlight blends it naturally and gives a beautiful glowing effect. Just see the difference here. I'm using the same process here for the feather and the body, adding highlights and then glazing it to reduce harshness and to look more natural. 3 layers would be good. You can do the same for the feather as well as the body. We can use soft orange. For the head, I gradually layer red, then orange, and finally yellow in the areas where light naturally falls. Blend it smoothly. Highlights in the same way as we did it for feather. Feather is completely dry now. We can do third layer of glazing both for the feather as well as the body part and as well as the head. Both patience, and when done right, it creates a depth that you simply cannot achieve it in a single layer. Add shadows wherever required. When it dries, we shall do the neck part, and then we can do the next layer of glazing. Now doing the final glaze. Very thin, almost watery consistency of paint for the neck and gently build shadows using grey. Using black for the beak, then blend with a slightly damp clean brush to soften the edges, which actually reveals the light on top of the beak. Paint using orange and add a thin layer of burnt sienna and blend it smoothly. Now the key part of the painting is over. Quickly go over the tree stump and the background. For tree stump, I am using burnt umber, ochre, earth yellow, black and white and ochre to build the base of the stump, applying uneven, slightly broken brush strokes so the surface feels rough and natural. Palette knife for a dry brush technique, lightly drag over the surface to create bark texture. Remember, the real wood isn't just brown. Glaze lightly and randomly with earthy yellow and muted green. For muted green, I mix it with burnt sienna to keep it natural and subdued. For the background, keep it soft and simple so it pushes the bird forward. Mix green with a touch of blue and burnt sienna and add a bit of yellow towards the top. Keep adding layers, making the lower area slightly darker while gradually lightening the top with a bit of white. Layering will soften the background and help you avoid hard outlines. Darker vertical strokes to suggest distant foliage, but keep it very subtle. It's a final artwork. Hope you have enjoyed the process.